Hey, what's up, y'all? This is William, the permaculture consultant, and we'll get into the video here in a second. But one thing that's happening right now that's kind of cute is that all the mama cows on the neighboring property over here, all the mama cows are bringing their little babies over to the fence because they saw some activity over here, got a little excited that I might have hay. Now they're all coming closer, and the little babies, they're cute because they're all curious, but they don't want to get too close. Here, let me show you. All the babies are just all curious. They're all just standing in a line right there, just like, you have any hay? Huh? You got any snacks? Anyway, the moms realized I didn't have any food for them and they started walking back. But today I'm going to start working on the garden area and getting that ready for spring. This is probably going to go over the course of like a couple of videos, just because it is a bigger project here on the farm or on the demonstration site. And I'll be hitting the road here in a couple days for consultations. So, which brings up the point, if you need any in-person or phone consultations, hit the links down below. Let me close this gate so we don't have any random intruders or invaders. Looks like my neighbor got his truck fixed. That's good because it was smoking pretty bad the other day. He fell asleep at the wheel in his driveway, but his foot stayed on the accelerator on the gas, and then it started smoking like crazy, and it was smoking for like 30 to 45 minutes before I even noticed the guy's truck was almost on fire. But it's moved. Looks like he got it fixed. That's good. You can see these posts that are laid over, like right here, here. All these posts, are majority of them are rotten. The T-posts, those are still good. The fence is still good too. So that's all going to be kept and reused. But I'm going to get these wooden posts out, and I'm going to replace them with the logs that I have over there, as well as the logs that I have right here. I'm going to debark them, strip them, burn the ends, get those treated so they can take the place of all these wooden posts. So that'll be the first thing I'm going to get done, is get this area, the posts out, the fence ripped up. I'll leave the T-posts in place, and that'll make it easier to get all of this junk out of the garden, probably burned or just set to the side for now. I haven't decided yet. But getting this fence out of the way is going to be a big help in getting this area cleared. So let's go ahead and get that done. The first thing I'm gonna do is get everything attached to this fence off that's useful. Like this gate right here. This gate is in pretty good shape, so I'm gonna keep this guy, if I can get it unchained. Yeah, there we go. This gate's in pretty good shape, so I'm gonna keep this. Oh, it is attached, apparently. That's why you got your handy dandy EDC. I just realized I should do a before. Oh crap, I got left that videotaping. But I just realized as I'm tearing this down, I should do a before so you guys can see what it looks like and the improvements I made. So the first thing I did just so far, which is like 15 minutes since the intro of this video, I got these two posts out and over here. This one is completely rotten. This one's still pretty solid, so I can use that again. Got all the hardware out, but here's the before. I need to take down those posts. I need to clear up all of this. even the trash and the cups and stuff, those might be reusable over there. The majority of the trees have been cut down in this area, so I can start cleaning up these boxes, removing the wood from these boxes, removing stuff like that, and removing these posts and getting the gates back up. But here is what it looks like before. Matter of fact, I'll do it from this little satellite right here, so I have the same reference point as before. Bam. Had to run and get a pair of dikes real quick. And no, I'm not talking about your sister. Some people call these the side cutters, but they're a pair of dikes. Some of these staples are really embedded in some of this wood. Good note is that some of these posts aren't in as bad a shape as I thought they would be. A lot of them are rotten at the base of the 4x4, but that's not going to be an issue. Also, anybody shooting that fast don't know how to shoot. I don't know if you heard those gunshots in the background. This is all the old chicken wire. Oh, this is attached to concrete. That makes more sense. That makes so much doggone sense now. I was about to say this is the heaviest post ever. That's why you do 75 hard. Since this is in concrete and it's still a good post, I mean, it's still solid. I'm gonna keep this, especially for my string line. So this corner post will stay, the metal T-post will stay, but all the rotten wood has to go. This chicken wire was installed because the rabbits were eating the garden like crazy. And this was also before Dad had started making bone sauce, which is probably a good time to plug that right now. I don't make anything from it, but if you guys have deer or rabbit pressure in your gardens or orchards, you should definitely go check out my dad's bone sauce. It's at PermaPasturesFarm.com. Buy a jar of that bone sauce and apply it to the wooden surfaces, and you'll definitely notice, if not a complete elimination of pressure, you'll definitely notice a decrease in pressure. It is by far the best rabbit and deer repellent in the world, so check that out. I will be ordering a jar myself and applying it to this garden for sure. I need to get some safety glasses on. I keep almost stabbing myself in the eye. But when I film a video, it doesn't make a very good connection if I got sunglasses on. So, some behind the scenes thoughts of the YouTube channel. If you want further proof that Gerber sucks, I have only ever used this machete on wood. And look at all these bent pieces in the edge. I mean, granted, it has like hits like soil, but not rocks. Look at that chunk. Look at that freaking chunk that's missing. Anyway, everybody should have a good beater machete. You might as well use Gerber because it's gonna fall apart anyway and you won't feel too bad about destroying it. I do have another one in the truck that's in way better shape. It's made by Corona. I still need to take the safety edge off of it and put a good edge on it. Saving that for a specific video because a lot of people are asking like, hey, how do you sharpen your tools and maintain all the ones with edges? So I'll do that in the future. But yeah, just a little side note, if you're needing a beater machete, that's one time you should actually buy Gerber. Also, okay, since we're on the Gerber topic, this is a wonderful idea to do to your machete. If you'll notice, so there's a lanyard right here, and there's that little stopper piece in the middle right there. That's not necessarily necessary. But you slide this over the top of this, kind of sits in that channel right there, stays on the lanyard hole, and your hand goes in here. Now that helps you with two different things. It's meant for the saw on this thing, but the saw is smaller than the actual blade, so the saw doesn't make any progress. Like the teeth, the width of the teeth are smaller than the width of the blade, so you can only saw so far before you hit the sides of the machete. That's besides the point. This lanyard right here stops your hand from sliding off the blade or sliding up the blade. Like my finger is just barely hitting the sharpened edge, just barely, not even enough to really cut myself, and I'm wearing leather gloves. But that's a cool little addition you should add to your machetes, a lanyard so it doesn't slide up or slide out. All right, so I got the rotten posts on the fence line out of here. The next step is to drag all this brush stuff out. That's actually where I'm going to put the brush pile because all that rotten lumber that I have over there needs to get burned as well. So I'm going to pile up I've got the busted 4x4s, all those posts. Those are going to get piled up over there right at the tip of my finger right there and get burned along with the rest of the rotten lumber, and all this brushy stuff that I have in here. All that's gonna get removed. So there's nothing left but to start dragging wood. Also, if you're wondering what I'm listening to right now with this headphone in, I'm listening to the Coming Nephilim Wars over on the Confessionals podcast. So if you guys don't know about the Confessionals, know about Tony, go check them out. The Confessionals podcast, I'll link them down below, but that's what I'm listening to right now with the author, Mr. Gary Wayne. It's pretty cool. As I was cleaning up over here, this is where the old greenhouse used to be. I found these old propagation boxes. Some of them are still good, some of them aren't. What's cool about them is that they're lined with hardware cloth on the bottom, so if you plant anything in there or get anything started in there, it's going to, the roots on those plants will air prune themselves. So as soon as they hit the air, they prune back and they don't go any further past that. There's also this old hose. So when I get the water turned on out here, I'll have to see if that hose is still good. This table is gonna have to go. It's pretty rotten and rickety, so that'll have to go. But these beds are definitely gonna have to go. So that'll be fun. I'm also gonna redesign these beds and try to keep this soil here as well. I need to redesign these beds so I have enough space in between each bed. As you can see right here, I don't have much space in between these beds. I mean, that's my foot, and I can't, even get 2 feet width between the beds, which also means that I can't get a wheelbarrow in between these beds either, which is a design flaw. So I got this area mostly cleaned out, minus some of the trees that are sitting here. Got to get this, just a couple pieces of random junk. But this, I'm gonna start dragging stuff out of here as well and bringing a lot of these saplings over into the wood pile. We're making progress. All right, I'm gonna have to break out the big guns for some of this. This guy right here. Grab that little file at the same time. If you're wondering how sharp the scythe is, it's that sharp. Exactly that sharp. So as I'm designing this garden and everything, as I'm thinking about some of the layout, I'm realizing that I'm eliminating a lot of the what would be perceived as growing space. I'm removing a lot of it and consolidating it. I'm gonna have almost about half as many beds as I did here, or as I originally had out here. But it's going to be more ergonomic and easier to manage. There's nothing more frustrating than having raised beds that you have to like maneuver yourself around just because of bad design. So keep that in mind when you're designing your own gardens. Make sure you have plenty of space between the beds to run a wheelbarrow or a garden cart through, and also make sure your beds aren't so wide where you have to bend over or reach to get to the middle. That's also another design flaw. You're gonna get tired of gardening real quick if it beats you up every time you go out there. Alrighty, I got all of the crap that was in the beds. I got that cleared out, and I'm collecting, sorry, can't talk. I'm collecting the piles and I'm putting them in this one big brush pile over here. Now what I'm gonna do is take those rotten boards. I'm hoping to get this one pretty hot. I'm gonna get those rotten boards that are the raised beds right now, and I'm gonna throw them on top of this fire. Told y'all these people in Texas don't know how to drive. This truck just came flying down this road, and you can see, yeah, he dropped a hay bale. A, because he was flying down this road, and B, because he had zero straps on any of this stuff. It's like he intentionally flung a hay bale off this thing. Freaking moron. But on a serious note, what if there's another car coming? You know what I mean? Yeah. What if there was another car coming? So one of my neighbors down the road actually ended up driving by right after I filmed that video, and he has a tractor down the road, and he's like, well, I explained to him what happened. Like, this moron came flying down the road, dropped a bale off the back of his trailer, and just kept on going. Well, this dude's about to go get his tractor, and he's about to feed it to his goats, which is cool. He's a little homesteader. I guess he's got a homestead down the road. Mostly goats, and it appears, yeah, I think just mostly goats. But he has a pretty interesting property. He has a fence that spans a creek that's a pretty interesting design. I wouldn't mind checking that out in the future. But yeah, I guess this hay bale ain't going to waste after all. And that other dude ain't coming to get it back. Yep, there we go. He just went and got his tractor, and now he's gonna pick up the bale. Man, he seems like a nice guy. I'm glad he's getting the bale as opposed to that other jerk who's just flying up and down country roads. And that's another thing. People who fly up and down country roads are seriously some of the most, what's the word I can say on YouTube? Inconsiderate people on earth. I mean, think of how many kids are up and down this road just outside playing. Believe it or not, they're outside playing because it's nice out right now. All it takes is some moron like that, and it's freaking over. Actually, that other dude's coming back now. No, he's not. It's just a Kia Soul. Hopefully they slow down. That doesn't seem to be a common trait down here in Texas. Alrighty, so after that little fiasco, I gotta get back on task for this garden. Right now I'm just ripping up these rotten boards, throwing them on that fire over there, and then after that I'm gonna get any of the rest of the trash, try to get up some of this brush and stuff like that that's cut and just on the ground, try to get that piled up, cleaned up, and put it on that burn pile. Like I said, get any of the trash out, try to get some sort of order out here. But yeah, those boards are very, very rotten. Like, there's no chance of saving them for any purpose, really. I'm also realizing I should probably put up a visual barrier and mainly a visual barrier over here on the east side and on the south side of the property, because anybody who's, paying to stay a week at this future school isn't paying for the white trash experience as well. All right, so the sun is going to be setting here pretty soon. It's going to get dark, so I better finish this video up before I can't film anymore. But here's what it looks like so far. I got all the rotten wood out of here. I got all the old raised beds out of here. The next thing I'm going to do next time I come out here is get the posts in. So I'm going to use the oak logs, a lot of those oak logs that I cut down from the silver pasture area over there, and I'm going to char the bottoms of them, and then those are going to be added as posts to this garden fence area. So yeah, it's been a bit of an eventful day to say the least, but yeah, so this garden area, as far as the bed layout, I'm thinking of, because there is pretty good soil in these raised beds, especially up on the top, or where the raised beds used to be. What I'm thinking about doing is actually consolidating these beds. So right now there are 6 beds in each row. So I'm going to consolidate them to about 3 bigger beds on each row. Yeah, that's the plan there so far. I'm going to draw it out on graph paper probably before I actually do any of that. The first thing I need to do is get measurements on the outside of this perimeter, but before I do that, I need to get the posts in. So yeah, that'll be the next step. The next step is basically getting posts in and then rearranging these beds. I don't think I'm going to use any of the wood for the raised beds. Instead, I'm just going to mound soil up on top of itself. That way, if I want to change the design in the future, I can, and nothing is done permanently. And I might, honestly, full transparency, I might use a tiller. Oh my goodness. I might use a tiller to reshape these beds. Now, the purple breathers are definitely going to lose their minds over that, but I don't even care a little bit. Jeff Lawton, I mean, when I was there, we used a tiller in his garden. Not fairly often, but every once in a while when we needed to reshape the beds. And guess what we did as soon as we did use the tiller? We put down seed. So you can do a very intense destructive impact as long as it's not over a long duration of time, and as long as you seed right after, or you leave long enough rest. Does that sound like your grazing patterns at all? It should. Sorry if it sounds if I have like a little bit of an attitude. I've been dealing with morons all day. But anyway, it's gonna be all better. The garden's getting done. I got this burning right here, getting rid of a lot of junk and stuff like that. So if you guys need any consultations or anything like that, feel free to hit the links down below. And until next time, I'll see you guys. Thank you so much for watching.